Hey everybody, welcome back to another 10-minute Marvel video. I'm Petter, and today we're going to be diving into a spoiler topic for Daredevil Born Again, Episode 7. If you haven't been watching Daredevil Born Again, it has been a really fun show. A little bit fast at times, but it also doesn't lag kind of behind like I felt the Daredevil show on Netflix did. So we talk about why that potentially might be in the 10-Minute Marvel podcast, this last episode. But I do have one specific topic I want to discuss. And that's going to be who called in the hit. So, at the end of episode 7 of Daredevil Born Again, we see Vanessa Fisk, after she had met with Luca previously, sending a text message to Luca, basically giving him the location of where Fisk is going to be dining alone. Luca goes there and gets shot by, and I'm blanking on the guy's name, but kind of the henchman character, the British guy who works with Wilson Fisk. Now, the question is, who called in that hit? Because I think there are two easy ways to understand how that scene played out. And I kind of suspect I know which way it's going, but they left it with ambiguity, and I appreciate the fact that they left it with ambiguity. So let's talk about what I mean with that. So the two ways of reading it are that Vanessa is calling in a hit on Wilson. She's done with what he is doing as a politician. She had a successful business going, taking over his empire, and now that's crumbling. So she wants to get it back to what it was when she was in charge. So she is using Luca and using this as a way to get Luca out of his debt that she already levied on him for his crew killing members of another crew. And if he takes out Fisk, she's free. She can mourn publicly, but work on setting up and taking over the company, the business again. On the flip side, it could be that Wilson set this up intentionally. Now, obviously, the other guy was kind of hiding in the shadows, ready to take out Luca. That would definitely suggest that's the direction that they went, with Luca being a loose cannon, him coming and messing with Fisk in episode 6, and then him basically saying to Vanessa, like, let's overthrow Fisk. Like, I'm done following his orders. So it could be a show of strength from Fisk as well, Wilson Fisk, because we've seen him through the past few episodes kind of lean back into that more Fisk nature, especially now that he has his favorite plaything counterpart back in Daredevil, and he's giddy to deal with Daredevil. But which way do you think it is? I want to ask that question before I maybe try and sway it a little bit as to which way you think it is. I think so. Drop that down in the comment section below, and just for a mid-video plug, if you enjoyed this content, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and click that notification bell. Alright, now that you've had a chance to comment, I think it is Wilson who called in the hit on Luca. He is not pleased with Luca for coming to his office. he increased the the fine on Luca, and my guess is Vanessa told him that, hey, now Luca is gunning for you. He has no intentions of paying. He just wants to take you out, and he's fine having me step in control. And together they came up with a fairly simple plan of, let's take him out. And it possibly even Vanessa Fisk meeting Luca at the very beginning of episode 7 is to set up the fact that she is playing him. We don't see much of that conversation. We're not meant to see much of that conversation because it's supposed to be left up in the air if she agrees with Luca or not, and how she does it. Because we're supposed to be asking this question at the end of episode 7. Did she try and kill Fisk? But I think it's going to come out that no. Fisk is returning to his old ways. And because he's doing that now, he is trying to gain control back. And I don't think he's given up on being a mayor. I think that's still very important to him to do something that his father could not. But there's a certain element of his nature that is coming back through. No matter how much he tried to hide it, put it away as he's mayor, he is basically saying, like, no, screw it, I'm done with it. This is a problem that has to be dealt with. He came to my turf as mayor, to the mayor's office, and now I'm going to have to be dealing with it. I think, like I said, I think that is the most likely. I also think that maybe isn't as interesting as if Vanessa has had enough. And I love how they've done this in the kind of the therapy scenes. She has been moving closer to Fisk on the couch, Wilson on the couch, but Wilson has always stayed in the corner. So while she seems to be trying to actually bridge that gap, he can't. And I think there's like a fairly obvious reason he can't. He knows precisely where Adam is. Second that lie comes out, he's in trouble with her. So they might be saving kind of that resplit for that moment that lie does come out. But I also could see it being that she understands that Wilson isn't going to really step back into the role, into the role that she wanted him to have. And I think that's a more interesting story to tell, because that then gives Fisk not only now Daredevil as a complication, but how does he present himself as the mayor when Vanessa is not openly necessarily, but clearly estranged, removed from him if she fully goes against him? I think, to me, that sounds like a more unique story to tell. That said, I do think it is more likely that he called in the hit. And I think it's more likely we're going to get that secondary story, the one that I talked about with Vanessa feeling betrayed, like truly betrayed, and no longer being willing to work on it in season 2. I think that's going to be an interesting point there, because I think at the end of season 1, she's going to find out where Adam is, and Adam may get killed by Fisk. So that's just my thoughts. Which way, like I said, do you think it's leaning? Did she or didn't she? Did Vanessa set up Luca? Did Vanessa try and set up Fisk? Which is it? Who called in that hit? Let me know that down in the comment section below. And Greg and I talk about this on the 10-Minute Marvel podcast. You can find the podcast here on YouTube. Click onto the channel. Click that subscribe and notification bell. and then click on the podcast tab, or you can search for 10 Minute Marvel wherever you get your friendly neighborhood podcasts from. But with that, I'll see you next time.